Namaskar. Hello and welcome to DGI-351. I'm your host Sri Iyer and I'm joined by my co-host Sridhar Chityalaji. Let's welcome him first and then we'll go on to the news. Sridharji, Namaskar and welcome to P Guru's channel.
Namaskar, good morning to everybody. Happy to be here.
Sridharji, the markets in the United States tumbled yesterday. I think at one point of time they were down by 1,000 points or even more. And I think there was a mild recovery. Now, why this sudden panic, sir? In fact, in the face of the fact that Ukraine is actually winning against Russia and Russia will probably be in a corner, what are the reasons for this market crash?
It's a great question. The collapse of the market is driven by two factors. One is the continued uptick in the inflation, and this is notwithstanding the fact that there was a reduction in the gas prices in the month of August. But primarily, the drivers seems to have emerged from three factors, three aspects. One is around the expenses around the medical, expenses around the real estate, which is people who rent properties. There has been increases ranging from 7% to almost 35% in some metros. And then naturally, the food prices continue to rise. So this has cast some doubts in the minds of the people that whether this is going to be a continuum and whether the interest rate hikes is going to be higher than the normal. If you recall, we had predicted 100 basis points rise. So this is what led the sentiments, unless and otherwise they see some other market indicators in the next few days or few weeks, you will continue to see a slump in the markets.
Sridharji, you have proved right. Mr. Xi Jinping is at the place where the BRI started in 2013. So Kazakhstan has welcomed him. This is the first trip that he has taken after COVID. So this is some significance to that. Now, the SCO is starting, I think it's there for a couple of days, and it is expected that China and Russia are going to show a new path for the world. Is this something like they're going to try and dethrone the US dollar for starters?
Well, I think that they're going to announce that there's a new order coming to the town that is driven by Russia, China, Central Asian republics, and perhaps a couple of allies of Russia from Europe. If you take the Central Asia as well as the countries attending this particular summit, they make up close to 40% of the world's population and somewhere between 25 to 28% of GDP. So that's significant. I think that's the message
they're giving.
Number.
Anything over 10
it's not a small. It's not a small number. They're also going to showcase Russia and China are already trading in renminbi and ruble. This is the message that they're going to give, and they're going to ask these nations who are going to eventually trade with Russia and China to be doing the same. So we may begin to see first shift in this currency, reserve currency, out of US dollars and the alternate currency from euro into this new basket. I think that's what the message that is going to come loud and clear from Mr. Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin. And I think Vladimir Putin also has to talk to his audiences in Russia, and Xi Jinping, who is awaiting to be re-elected for 4 more years, has to announce that he is winning the game in the global order.
Quickly, Sridharji, if 100% is the total trade between Russia and China, how much of that is in ruble / yen? Yuan, I'm sorry.
I think almost all of it is going in. Yeah, almost all of it. All of a sudden, there has been a tremendous uptick in the ruble renminbi trades in Moscow exchange. And the number has jumped to close to $14 billion, almost number 3 or number 2 in ranks relative to US dollar and euro. It probably very soon there will be significant Russia-China trades all conducted either in ruble or in renminbi.
Sridharji, India's wholesale price index has shown a small decrease in the month of August. Is this seasonal change because rains, people are not going up, or how do you attribute this? Because again, I'm hearing that the prices are starting to go up again.
Well, I think that the reflection in the reduction in the prices is a reflection of the what has happened in the oil market. Having said that, the WPI has been in the double digits for almost 17 months. Predominantly, India is not an isolated island by itself. It is reliant on global supply chains, energy, food, some of the other equipment that they import does have a bearing in terms of the overall wholesale price index. This is notwithstanding the fact that India has had a very good last Kharif season, and it seems to be doing well on managing the internal needs of the food, but it is not isolated on other matters as far as the global supply chains are concerned.
Thank you very much, Sridharji. Next, let's take a look at the statement made by the Defense Minister of Israel, where he is actually showing a couple of pictures of where Iran is using Syria for advanced missiles and so on and so forth, and weapons for its allies. Sridharji, this is something that has come courtesy Jerusalem Post, and this is something that perhaps the Israelis are really looking at closely. Are they going to try and take them out, do you think?
That's what I think. If you recall that there has been persistent air bombing that has gone on in Syria, and Syria has I mean, Israel has gone public saying that there are both Hezbollah targets as well as some of the Iranian surrogates operating from the Syrian region, which is probably one of the reasons why Russia has not intervened, recognizing that there's some issue. He is not targeting either any of the Syrian forces which are aligned with Bashir al-Assad. So you can see that near the Masayaf region, there's at least 4 spots. Then near the Damascus, there's 2. Then there is around Aleppo 2. So roughly there are about 10 spots they have shown. This was shown in New York on September 14th by the Israeli ambassador. Now, here are the targets from which the Iranians are operating and posing a threat to the state of Israel. And so they're going to basically attack. And it also has a political connotation, which is namely, whatever you do with the nuclear deal, you got to understand what the Iranians are doing right around the region, and they pose a imminent threat to Israel.
Sridharji, now EU has made some statements saying that a few countries in addition to Ukraine really belong in the EU. I think Ukraine had applied for EU membership a few months ago. Is that come through now or is it still waiting, sir? What's the latest on that?
It's not been approved as yet, and I think that they're still waiting. There's only 27 countries right now, so therefore they have said that Georgia, Ukraine, then Moldova, right. Then the other Balkan states have to become part of EU. So they are strengthening. They're going to expand by force of circumstances. I think they have tasted the energy issue. So now they're building up a broader coalition to make sure that Europe stands united and there are no breaches. This is again a very significant development within the context of what is happening in Kazakhstan, right? So you have a camp in Kazakhstan, and you have EU now issuing statements at its annual summit.
And that's it for today. And please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Sridharji, thank you very much, sir. And we'll be again joining tomorrow, and we'll be back with DGI 352. Namaskar.
Namaskar. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.